All right, what's up, everybody? PK Light bringing you another interesting deck today. I really love building rogue decks at the moment, and I think this may be the best one yet. Um, I've never seen anybody try to use Torkoal as a main attacker before, because at first glance it may not seem that great. But what I sort of noticed was with a combination of Flaming Honk and Searing Flame, you could do quite a bit of damage while charging up your bench very fast. But this deck does not work using a standard sort of setup using supporters and whatnot. It relies heavily on milling your own cards and using Flaming Honk, Searing Flame. Probably one of the coolest attacks ever. Hits for 80 base and does 20 more damage by burning them. So, I mean, you're hitting for 100 damage for 3 energies and you're charging very fast. So when you boost that damage using a 4/4 line of Lurantis promo, you have a potential of 80 more damage, and that becomes extremely powerful. Hypothetically, you get all 4 Lurantis out, perhaps late game. You have a base 30, you have another 80, there's 110. You put a choice band on, we're talking 140. You put Kukui on, we're talking 160. And if you have a shrine out, you just OHKO'd a Lele or something similar, 170 HP GX, using the Flaming Honk attack and still charging your bench up at the same time. It's really crazy. A lot of the things have to align correct in order for that to happen, but it happens more often than you would think. So let's just run through it really quick. So we have one Oranguru. We want to keep pulling cards. There is no draw support other than 2 Kukuis, so Oranguru is quite important. It doesn't often get knocked out because when this deck gets up and running, their main focus is getting rid of Torkoal, perhaps Lurantis's. Definitely Victini if it's late game. So we have 4 Torkoal. The plan is to always have, hopefully, 2 Torkoal going, one charging the next one. We have Victini. We want to be able to hit big numbers late game, knock out just about any Pokemon. When you have 22 energies that are late game going to be, the majority of them in your discard, you're knocking out anything with Victini. So we go on to the Lurantis. I talked about that. It's a 4/4 line. That's the maximum you can do. And you just want to increase your damage at all times. So we're using Great Ball. Great Ball is the first time I've ever used a Great Ball in a deck that perhaps wasn't a theme deck. So it has quite a good synergy with this deck. So you look at the top 7 cards of your deck, you reveal a Pokemon you find there, put it into your hand, shuffle your deck. What's kind of cool about this is, so when we use a lot of balls in this deck. So we're using 4 Apricorn Maker. The Apricorn Maker's early game, grab your Nest Ball. If you need, perhaps 1 Great Ball, but try to save those late game and use Ultra Balls to thin early. So, yeah, but when you get through most of your deck and you still have the Great Balls lying around, they become a lot more effective. They basically, if you only have a couple, 14 to maybe 20 cards in your deck, the odds of hitting something are a lot greater. 4 of the Ultra Balls. So we have 3 here. We have 4 for Ultra Balls for thinning and just getting whatever we want when we need it, because let's be honest, Ultra Balls are the best. Shrine of Punishment, we have 3 of those. Don't really have room for a 4th one, so it seems to do its job though. 4 Apricorns for getting that setup and consistency. I've tried running 3 before, and it just, like, you need 4 basically. 1 Guzma, something I find I only get to use sometimes, but it can be a pretty game-changing card at the right moment. So we keep 1 in there. 2 Kukuis for boosting energy and a little added draw support. Only have room for 2 choice bands. I really do feel that 22 energies is about as low as I could kind of want to go with this deck, just to keep the consistency of the mill charging, the mill charge, whatever we're calling it, Flaming Honk going. And that is the deck. I hope I explained it in a way that makes sense. I know it's unconventional to not see the Cynthias and the copycats or judges or whatever, but there's just no room. Like I said, Flaming Honk is kind of the key to the success of this deck. with the boosted damage of Lurantis. And so this is how it works. So we're going to jump into a few quick matches and show you how you can literally knock out stage 2 Pokemon in one hit with this deck. It's pretty amazing. So let's go. All right, so here we are. We're going to jump into a few matches, show you some of the magic here. So we just chose Searing Flame. We did the extra damage with the Lurantis, with the Choice Band, with the Shrine, and we just got the one-hit KO on a stage 2. I mean, you don't see a card like Torkoal potentially being this powerful, but in fact it is. And to be honest, this is another pretty good setup. Sylveon does not hit for that much damage. It only hits for 110, and you know, as I knew that was sort of happening, you know, I was gonna grab the game next turn. On to the next one. We're looking at another Sylveon. I think we had hit it once with our Flaming Honk, and we came around a second time, ended up getting the KO. You know, perhaps that was a one-hit KO. I think it may have been shrined a few times ahead of time, actually. So previous to this, I had my Oranguru out, and I had hit that Lele and done quite a bit of damage to it, but it retreated. But, you know, if you don't have an answer to Shrine and you're playing a GX heavy deck, then, you know, there's a reason why these smaller non-GX decks are doing so well. Shrine is just so good. I hit the well played. You know, I could see they didn't have a field blower, and that's just 2 shrines away from the knockout. We're just gonna throw a random energy down because it doesn't really matter. Hit the Gardevoir, and the Lele is gone, and that's another W. So we're looking at another GX deck again. We had shrined the Drampa a few times before we had our board set up, but after a quick Searing Flame, we got the knockout. I wouldn't call this exactly like a top tier meta deck, but nonetheless, it's a good example of what Torkoal can do and the kind of damage it's able to put down. So we are going to do massive amounts of damage, 130 plus the 20, plus 1 for the Shrine. Just amazing numbers. So, actually, early game, my opponent had played down the Aether Conservation, and I had a Formantis in the front, and the Drampa was trying to do damage to it, but it was actually preventing damage, so it actually worked in my favor to be using that card in the beginning. However, Shrine is more important, so we will change that out. We will grab the close to a one-hit KO here. Came just shy of it. But with the Shrine ready to go, they're just 1 turn away from another knockout. And then they play another Tapu Koko. And because there's already a Shrine on that Koko, plus we grabbed another Lurantis, and we are hitting for plenty of damage. And if it wasn't for the dumbbells on the Raichu, it would be 1 turn away from a knockout there as well. So that's it. I do have some other matches recorded, but I basically wanted to show more of the raw power this deck has. You know, it can win against like Garchomp decks and stuff like that. You know, it just takes a little more, you know, maneuvering around and just being careful with prizes. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this deck. I really do. If you can get your hands on some promos, they're out there. You can buy the promo code cards online. So anyways, yeah, if you really like this, please subscribe, hit that like button, and it would be a great help, and I can continue to provide more of these cool decks for you. So thanks a lot, and I'll see you guys later.